Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Mikey Blends, bringing you guys back another video. And on this video we'll be going over on how to line up the brows in detail tutorial, so stay tuned for that. Also want to thank you guys for the support. We're almost near 1,000 subscribers. If we get to it, I'll do a full catalog giveaway on the borderline. So let's get to 1,000 subscribers and we'll do it. Now let's get into the tutorial. First, you want to have a brand new blade onto your straight razor. Always make sure to keep it right here where the darkness is at. Do not push it past or further that. We're going to be doing the front arch and the back arch. So make sure you hold the skin tight and pull down. Right here, as you can see, I'm using my thumb to pull that skin tight. As you razor the skin, make sure you're pulling on the skin tight, and also make sure your straight razor is laying nice and flat to prevent from nicking the client. As you finish lining up the first arch, just make sure you're always combing down the hair to make sure everything is nice and even. As we start finishing the front arch, you'll start to notice that there's floating hairs right here. Do not mind those, we'll be getting into those later throughout the video. Now after we're done doing the front arch, we'll start going into the back, and as you can see, I'm not pushing it all the way in, I'm just getting rid of all those floating hairs around it. Always keep in mind to always stretch out that skin to prevent from nicking the client. Also, make sure you always keep your blade clean to always get that sharp cut. After cleaning out your blade and finishing up the top portion of that eyebrow, just make sure to go all over the brow area and clean it up using your shavers. Now that we finished doing the top portion of the eyebrow, we'll start doing the bottom portion of it. Right here, we're going to be stretching in the skin and using the corner of our blades. So we're going to be doing the arch right here, just eliminating all the small hairs right here that I'm pointing out. And using the pressure between our thumb and pointer finger, we'll be stretching out the skin. Right here, as you can see, I'm using my thumb and pointer finger. And we're only going to be using the corners of our straight razor here. So just using the corners of it, we're going to start laying down that arch. As we lay down that arch, we'll just start removing all the excess hair around it. Make sure to always pull on that skin tight, especially underneath the eyebrow, since it's a little bit more sensitive and easier to nick. Another thing I also like doing is cleaning underneath the eye, because there's always a lot of hair there that a lot of barbers skip out on. Just make sure to pull the skin tight as you pull on the cheek, and with the straight razor lay it flat and just remove all that hair. Also, just make sure to clean up the cheek a little bit, because sometimes the hairs do grow in there. Each client varies, but just make sure to always clean it up all around the eyes to make sure you always leave a nice clean cut. After we finish one eyebrow, we clean it all up, and now it's time to move on to the other one. Now before lining up the next brow, you just want to take a quick glance at the other brow we just finished lining up to make sure everything comes out even. Now after doing that, you just want to make sure you pull on that skin tight and set in your first arch. After I finish setting in that arch, I took a quick glance at the other eyebrow we just made to make sure everything is nice and even. After confirming that both arches are identical, we'll start doing the back arch on the brow. Pulling on the skin, making it tight once again, we'll start laying down our line to make sure it comes out nice and crispy. After setting the arches in, you want to make sure to clean all around the eyebrow. Once you're done cleaning all around the eyebrow, using your pointer finger and your thumb, you want to stretch out the skin like this once again, and using the corners of your straight razor, you want to set that arch underneath. Not applying too much pressure and letting the blade do the work, you want to remove all the light hairs underneath the eyebrow. Now that we set in that arch and removed all the light hairs, now it's time to clean it all up. Make sure to keep that skin nice and stretched out so you do not nick the client. Make sure to always keep the blade clean so it could always leave a sharp finish. After cleaning up the blade, now it's time to remove all the hair underneath the eye and the cheek. Stretching out the skin tight, laying the blade flat, you want to remove all the hair. Also make sure if there's any pimples on the way to not go as hard because you will open them. As you can tell, this is a very crucial step. Just look at all the hair come out, so make sure you do not skip over this step. Make sure to take your time and nicely stretch out that skin because it's easy to nick the cheek, so make sure you stretch out that skin. Once again, always maintain your blade nice and clean to leave a sharp finish. Once again, just go all over the forehead, make sure all the hairs are out to leave a nice and clean face. Now that we finished doing the eyebrows, the front arch, the back arch, and underneath, now it's time to get rid of those little hairs that stick out. So grabbing your trimmers and brushing the hair, we're going to start removing those hairs. Carefully using the corners of your trimmers, just make sure to tap those light hairs out. Now after tapping out those light hairs, now it's time to do the middle portion, and using the corners of your trimmers, stretch out the skin and clean up that middle portion. The way I know to stop is by using this corner right here of the eye. By using that corner as a guideline, that's how I know where to stop. Now repeat the same process on the other side of the eyebrow. Now to finish up that middle portion of the eyebrows, grabbing your straight razor and using the corners and stretching out the skin, you want to make sure to go over that middle piece. You could also use this finger method right here once again to get comfortable and clean out that middle part. After cleaning up that middle part, what I like doing as a little nice touch up is brushing out the hair and using the scissors here to remove all those long hairs. Make sure to also repeat this step on the other side. After doing this step, just make sure to brush the hair out to make sure everything is nice and even and there's no long hairs left out. Now if you follow through all those steps correctly, you should end up with something like this. Nice sharp eyebrows, face nicely cleaned up. This has been the full eyebrow tutorial. If you made it this far, thank you guys. Thank you guys for motivating me and to keep doing more videos. I highly appreciate it. Make sure to always like, follow, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also follow me over on Instagram. This has been Mikey Blends, and I'm out. Peace.